Yeah, we just want to talk about new couples. You know, when you look at today's society versus how marriage is supposed to be, it's backwards. It's backwards. So today we just gonna touch on the stuff that we missed, and we were just fortunate enough to catch them. You know, better late than never. That's what we're gonna talk about.
Love ain't always perfect, but purpose makes it powerful. Real conversations, real healing, real faith. Welcome to LOC'D and Faith.
I'm Mr. Lock. And this is Miss Lock. Uh, so that's what we'll wrap about. How you doing today?
I'm well. I'm excited because, we get to do this and then I get to do my show on Crystal Talks Cancer. So if you're not tuned into that as well, I need you to go over to Facebook every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time and come talk about the journey of cancer with me. Tonight we have a guest, so I'm excited. But I'm good. I'm excited.
That's right. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, whatever that is in your time,
How are you doing?
I'm alright, y'all. I think if we don't know by now, I'm a gym rat, so after this, I'm about to go get busy.
I went and got busy last night, and it was amazing, y'all. It had been a while since I've gone to the gym. It was amazing. Like, I should be going back tonight, but tonight is live night, so there's that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the things that a couple should do is not just make time, for I won't say make time. That just don't sound right. But you give God your time, His time, but then you give your body self-care. Work out. But bring your spouse along too. That's a good point for y'all to talk and kind of help each other, hold each other accountable in the gym. You know what I'm saying? So just food for thought. If anybody need help or whatever, it's kind of easy to kind of not go when you don't have nobody. You don't have no gym buddy or nobody to hold you accountable. You got your spouse. You know what I'm saying?
Health is wealth, y'all. And if nobody has learned that, I definitely have learned that lesson. And I mean, we'll be all day talking about, how to actually eat right and to diet right. And I'm going to be honest, I'm still not in that realm because, as many of you know, like financially, let's be honest, it's cheaper to eat unhealthy than it is to actually eat healthy. And when you're in transitional seasons, finances are not, the greatest for a lot of us. So there's that. Like I said, we can be all day talking about that though, but we're not. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our topic.
Yeah, we will. But before we go, I'm gonna let y'all know the top 3 in the order that you need to focus on when it comes to just make sure your body's straight. Eat, sleep, work out. In those 3, that's important. The top one is food, sleep the second, 3, working out. Okay? So we go wrong with it, man. So my question to Miss Lock, you like that? That sound kind of, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But so my question is you were getting started, all right? We started young. If it was anything that you could tell a couple that was kind of getting started around our time, as far as when it comes to marriage and faith, you know what I'm saying? What would be your ideas on them as far as that?
So, if I'm understanding correctly, I would tell young couples, first of all, make sure that you are grounded in your faith. Make sure your forever person is equally yoked. I know we hear this at church, you hear it in the sermons, you read about it in the Bible, and it's just like, well, yeah, we can kind of grow and learn. I'm not saying that you have to be 100% like the same mentality, the same people, in and out. There's no way. You're not going to find a perfect person. But I will say, make sure spiritually that you guys are equally yoked and are on a path to strengthening your relationship with God.
You know what I've heard? I heard in certain, I won't say certain situations, but I have heard because when I'm on my route and whatnot, I listen to some biblical podcasts, right? And so I would hear different questions like Johnny Chain, and he would bring people on to just kind of ask questions that they would answer questions. You know what I mean? And one of the questions was, what if I'm in faith? What if I'm doing my spiritual walk, but my spouse is not? Or my boyfriend does not.
You can't, and biblically speaking, because we have gone through this. So the background for us is, I used to go to church a lot. We talked about this in the first episode. I was brought up in church. My husband was not brought up in church. There was a difference within our spiritual journeys and our walks. Like, I'm not saying that he wasn't a believer or any of those things, because he was, but at the same time, he just did not go to church and wasn't as active as I was in ministry. But with all of that being said, like, a lot of people are looking for somebody who's going to like match everything that they do, but it's not. So whenever you have someone who's not actively in church, you're basically the example, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, you have to be the example. And before you cross, and this is just my opinion, from the things that I've learned, before you go too far into, you want to make sure that that person is in the realm of even trying to have that relationship with God. Because I feel what happens is, a lot of times people get into relationships and they want their partner to go to church on Sundays, and they want their partner to be more active in Bible studies and surrounded by the male or female ministries so that they can be poured into from like-minded people and these things. But then that person just doesn't want it for themselves. Biblically speaking, I learned that we're not even supposed to push our spouse to get up and go to church, because if they backslide on their faith, then that basically is on us. Oh no, I didn't know.
I also kind of see a lot of scenarios where people just, marriage is great. It's great to have, but a lot of people aren't in the church. I won't say a lot of people, but some people just aren't in the church, so they don't really take it as, or see it as a covenant like a lot of people should. Like most marriages that are in church actually do. And so it becomes something that they kind of use like just a relationship. Oh, it's not working, or oh, this is my issue with them. You know what I mean? Like I had today, have all my issue with them. It ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think that is a person who does not read their Bible, who does not take time to be around spiritual or like-minded individuals who don't have that background to where they can say, hey, I need to talk to a couple who's been at this for 10, 15 years, you know what I'm saying? Because here's the reality, like, there's no such thing as a perfect marriage. There's no such thing as a perfect individual, so how do you expect for everything to be all good all the time? But what should not happen is some of the things that you were saying, like when your flesh starts to get weak, you should be able to think about your covenant with God and realize, like, this is actually bigger than me and my selfishness or the desires that I have or the problems that I have with my spouse. Like, I need to take this to God. I need to make sure that I'm praying for my spouse. I need to make sure I'm praying over our marriage. I need to make sure that we're communicating effectively. You know what I mean? Because when you're not spiritually grounded, I feel like a lot of times you fall into those worldly traps because you don't have any armor to kind of help you navigate and, you know, do the right thing, because you don't have that healthy fear of what will happen if, you know, you go astray.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I get that, because a lot of people, I won't say a lot of people, but it's couples out there, young couples, or just, I won't say young couples, it's just couples out there that's just not in their spiritual walk. So that kind of makes it hard when it comes to marriage, you know what I mean? Because they're just, their outlook is just that of a fleshly outlook, you know what I mean? It's not, they every time I come home, they not doing this, they're not doing that, you know what I mean? And then they just find something that just don't work for them like that. So they just, you know what I mean? They don't just, I guess in a sense, they don't put in the work, you know what I mean?
And I mean, sometimes
they don't just make sure that they're taking it to God or praying. It really just starts with the spiritual walk, and a lot of people just aren't doing that like that.
And I think too, sometimes people are afraid of the mirror. And what I mean by that is, I feel like a lot of times people feel like, well, my spouse is lacking in this area, but then they're not looking at, well, why is my spouse lacking in this area? Do I have my spouse in this particular way, like stuck in survival mode? Are they mentally, emotionally drained because we do not effectively communicate? And instead of taking accountability for their own things, it's easier to move fleshly than to have those hard conversations and take it to God and actually work out the issues if they just create chaotic situations. And it's unfortunate, because even within our marriage, we've had issues where that communication barrier is just, it wasn't, you know, I'm one of those with transparency. We talk about the difference between communication and transparency. Communication is when I have to come to you and I have to ask you over and over and over again and pray that you're going to tell me whatever it is that I'm trying to understand or I'm trying to know. Transparency is when a person comes to you and freely gives you the information so that you don't have any misunderstandings or miscommunications, or you're not having to overthink, overreact, or any of those things. Like, there's a big difference between communication and transparency. And I think a lot of people don't understand how important it is to be transparent in your marriage, because the flip side to that is, like, even if, just imagine you have two people who have no moral compass, and you got one person just doing whatever they want to do, then guess what? The other person's gonna go do the same thing. Nobody has a moral compass. What is the purpose of being married? Like, God is not pleased within that covenant of these two people being together, because it's like, y'all might as well just go ahead and do what y'all doing. Whatever assignment that you have, it's not an assignment anymore, because at the end of the day, you're just doing what you want to do. And being on the side of, you know, learning how to overcome certain things and having forgiveness. I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't know who needs to hear it, male, female, whatever the case is. One of the things that you don't want to do is put yourself in a position to where you make it hard in your household. Because let me tell y'all something, forgiveness God forgave us, and it should be so easy. But forgiveness is hard. In the human reality, forgiveness is so hard. So learn how to communicate, and don't even put yourself in those positions to where you have to go through these hard conversations and your person has to now wonder if you're really their person. And you know, we'll be here.
I think it's really when you in there, especially when it comes to forgiveness, because I really feel like you know, you really got to surrender to God, you know, when it comes to forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? It just be anything you could be like, you know, in your mind, like, man, this dude don't cut the grass. You just gotta, you know, talk to him about it and then just surrender it to God. You know, it could be all, man, they don't fold the clothes right.
And it be the pile on stuff.
You know, they just gotta surrender to God about stuff. I think that's where a lot of people, because I felt like that before, and I know that's the wrong way of thinking that, but a lot of people feed off of something that annoys them to a certain extent, or not. It wasn't even something just annoying them, but just something that a habit that they don't do, or you know, they just go completely by doing it, but instead of just talking to it and surrender to God, they allow the devil to just feed on that. You know, like.
And that's where the spiritual, I feel like that's where the spiritual journey, like if your spiritual walk, if you are having those conversations and you're praying and you're talking to God, and it should be easy to communicate. That's why it's so important, because it's like a pile-on thing, right? Like one thing, and I'm just going to use this as a random example, right? Let's just say I'm annoyed by something. And then next thing you know, it could be one of the simplest things. It could be whatever the issue is that we had, or whatever the case was. Now I'm irritated because you leave the toothpaste cap off the toothpaste. I'm mad because you didn't lock the door when I told you to lock the door. You know, I'm mad because it just be some of the little simple stuff, and you just be like, oh
man, you know what? It remind me of this Instagram post I seen, and I see it in different people. We should probably do it, but anyway, I see it in different different posts and whatnot. But it'll show the couple, and it'll kind of give us a description. You know, a bill's due. You'll see them there, kneel down and pray. Oh, bills paid, kneel down and pray. You know what I mean? It was we're broke, they'll get down and pray. We're wealthy, we'll get down and pray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think that really just it puts y'all in a vulnerable state. But it's y'all uncovered, you're unguarded, and that way their paths can actually align with God. Because now they're praying, they're seeing what the other person's praying about, and they can actually align themselves with their spouse's prayer, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't. And I know my parents. I seen my mother pray. You know, my pops, he was just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I think I maybe seen him pray a handful of times, but almost every couple prior to me just kind of getting more into church, I never seen them pray together. Not saying that it's like forbidden or anything. I just never seen it. So I didn't even know how to kind of like, okay, well, do we make a to-do list on this prayer? Do we because I don't want to pray the same thing she praying, because sometimes you be praying something and then you say it, you take the word right out my mouth. I'm like, man, now I gotta figure out something else.
No, you just reiterate.
Now I gotta figure out something else. Man, she done took, golly, I knew I shouldn't have talked to her about that. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things I see is just things, you know, just to do as a couple that kind of just strengthens y'all bond. And I definitely would imagine that prayer is one of those things. I think that's the best thing.
Yeah.
Because if you align, as far as a husband, you know what I mean, you align yourself with your wife and everything's good, God is gonna, you know, be more inclined to bless you. I mean, he gonna bless you his way, but you don't have to worry about him not blessing you because you're out of line.
Yeah. I mean, and I will add this. The importance of surrounding yourself by like-minded individuals. I want to basically give a little quick backdrop about me. So he mentioned his parents. Both, he was in a 2-parent household. I was not. I was raised by a single mother who took care of everything, did everything amazing. She did what she had to do for her kids, right? So my mentality coming into a marriage is completely different from his, because I have nothing to really look at outside of what I know about my pastor and my first lady and some of the other couples within ministry and some of the people that I met along the way. And I will be honest when I tell you this, there are some people I just don't even understand why they got married. I don't understand it, and it's not for me to understand, and the only thing that I can do is pray. But those are examples that I know are not going to be in alignment with God's word, so I know that there's nothing there for me to learn from. I feel like a lot of times people will utilize certain people to get information from, or to get to lean on for guidance, and they're not walking a spiritual walk. They don't have a faith-based marriage. They don't have the structure where they're even going to church on Sundays. But it's like some people will have these conversations with people not realizing that, okay, well, if they ain't walking right, it's basically the blind leading the blind. Like, you can't go to somebody because they've made the same mistakes as you and expect them to hold you accountable. It's like a lot of times people will go to people who have done the same thing, and it's like that's familiar for them, so they're like, oh, you didn't do anything wrong, and so on and so forth. And it don't matter what it is. It could be something as simple as not communicating something, a money transaction or whatever. Oh, you did the right thing, don't even worry about it, because guess what, I go and I spend money and I do this, that, and the other, and I don't tell my spouse. Well, just because you do that doesn't mean that that makes it right. And that's why I tell people, you have to be mindful from where you get your information, because you don't want to have a blind leading the blind kind of situation. I typically align myself with people who have wisdom, older people. If I'm being honest, majority of my friends, like I have a handful of friends who are my age. Everybody else older than me. God made that be for a reason. There's a mental process there where I realize that I just don't align with chaos and confusion. And I'm gonna be honest, just because a lot of people are older than you don't mean that they're right. I had a situation that I realized it's some old fools out here. And it is what it is, but you just have to make sure that whenever you're seeking guidance and advice, first of all, go to God and go to those marital corners where you have faith-based marriages.
Let me ask you something, because you just gone. you were ripping again, boy.
My bad. You know I'm already up.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Let me ask you something. Do you think you give your prayers are better when you're by yourself or when you're with your spouse?
Do I think my prayers are better? I think that when we are aligned in prayer, that God really sees us as a union, and He's able to do more work in both of us if we are aligned in our prayers. Now, I'm not saying that, ceasing praying on my own. I think that everybody should do both, but I do feel like it's a different, I feel like it draws us closer, but it mainly draws us both closer to God individually and collectively, if that makes sense.
Okay. I was thinking, I kind of feel like my prayers are better when I'm by myself. Obviously because they're raw and you know what I mean? And I can not focus on, you know what I mean? I guess not focus on, not the things that you're gonna say, but the things that we're along with, you know what I mean? I can, for some reason, it just gives me a situation where I can just kind of like, pray for certain things, you know what I mean, more accurately or more in depth, if I can say that. But then again, I think even then, man, if it's something that's bothering you, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you pray to. I think you should really pray to God first before y'all talk about it.
I mean, yeah, But that doesn't mean that, well, for me, I think praying about something, like when something get on me, you know what I'm saying? I don't care where I'm at, I'm just gonna pray. I'm just gonna, Lord, they trying it. This is where we at. You know, put a muzzle over my mouth and put praise in my heart. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have that moment, but then when we come together, I can pray for that same thing. You know what I'm saying? Together. Like, I don't think we should have to focus. Like, when you say, like, well, I gotta pay attention to, like, you shouldn't have to focus. Like, I hear your prayers whenever we're praying together. And I know that when I pray, sometimes I'm praying the same things that you are. I mean, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I just think...
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I was just wondering. I just wanted to know what you thought, or what, you know what I mean, what you think about it.
So what...
That's why I be here.
So what... I'm going to go back. So what is your opinion about, like, the like-minded individuals, like, being able to... Because there was a point in time in our marriage where you were not as active in church and you were not really open to being sociable because of whatever reasons. I mean, we all are in our process and we're all growing and learning in our own time. But then versus now, like, how do you feel when it comes down to being aligned with, like, the men's ministry and things like that? Because I know he started coming home after he started going to, like, the men's breakfast and being aligned with that ministry. He came home and he was excited, like, hey, we talked about this and this and that, and it did something to my heart because
it turned into something really, you know, really relieving for me, and you know, just in a motivational way. Even Sunday mornings, man, I just talking to them and getting the word, man. It's sometimes you need that male affirmation, you know what I mean? And even then, you know, some of those guys may not be married. Some of, you know what I mean? It just depends. But just when you kind of in that situation where you're talking to somebody that's in their spiritual walk, you know what I'm saying? Regardless if they married or not, you know what I mean? You kind of get a better feel for you know, how to line yourself with God's word, because that's what's gonna trickle down into your marriage.
Yeah. So how does that?
You know, filling your heart with love. You know, one of the things I started doing is, especially like right now in the midst of everything, is just waking up and just instantly, before my mind even get on what bills is due. Before I even do that, because I know if I open my phone, the first thing I'm gonna see is some emails about something I gotta pay. So the first thing I do, I get in my mind and I get down on my knees, I play my music, and I get in tune, you know what I'm saying? And I try to hear God's word first, because that's what's gonna trickle into my day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even with my trading journey, I have to do that first, because it's like, everything is happening all at once. I got so much stuff going on, you know what I mean? I can't not that, you know what I mean? So I think my first thing is just to surrender to God, you know, and then let that love that He blessed me with, you know what I mean, and the affirmations that I feel comfortable going into my day with, and I let that kind of transfer into our marriage. I started doing that first.
I must admit that was one of the great things. I do it, but not as often as I used to. Like, I'll wait until later on in the day and I'm like, oh, I haven't done my Bible app and my prayer. Cause we were doing the reading the Bible in a year, and I fell back on that. It's horrible.
I definitely feel like we should actually read the physical Bible for sure.
Right.
But I do like the app, because I guess it gives you a milestone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I read the Bible in a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's and I think it breaks everything up, so you can't really get all the lessons in one. But it's fun. I like it.
But see,
something to read.
I was doing that particular plan, and then I stopped doing that plan, and I started looking at the daily. Like, every day when you log into the Bible app, there's like daily scriptures and videos that help you with the scriptures. There's prayers and reflective things that you can look at in order to get in tune with what the scripture is saying. Like I would do that, but sometimes I don't do it right off in the morning. And I can be honest when I tell y'all this, I notice a difference, because when you do it in the morning time, it's like you opening your day up with the love of God. And when you're opening your mind up to that, your world up to that, you go into your day with a much better mood, a much better, positive vibe going. Like, it just does something. And again, I beat myself up enough, because I'd be like, man, I should have, but
yeah, you put a little bit more patience on for something.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying?
You just be like, oh Lord, let me go to this app real quick. Because like you said, we have so many responsibilities right now. A lot of this is a new normal for us. Like, God is transitioning us from being busy working for other people to now going through medical things and trying to figure out how to navigate life in a different way. I feel like my cancer diagnosis was a lot of things. It was me not surrendering things to God. It was me trying to take life into my own hands and just really figure it out. Like, I was one of those people that, okay, I'm gonna get it by any means necessary, right? Like, I'm gonna go to work and do what I need to do. And I ran myself crazy, not literally, but I ended up with breast cancer because scheduling and all of those things. But now we're learning to do life differently, and it's so uncomfortable. Like I was telling him earlier, I get shots once a month since this is like preventative care stuff. This is Crystal Talks Cancer Talk, so if you don't know, you'll have to go over there and get the scoop of that. But I do the shots every month, and it makes me fatigued. Like today I was laying down and I was like, I just feel like this is wrong. Like I should be doing something. Whenever I get a minute to sit down and be still, for whatever reason, the old season was like go. And this new season is like, well, your body is not able to go the way that it used to.
You know what?
And I have to give myself grace on that too.
You know what? And I noticed that, like, when we was in the gym and stuff like that, and you were in between sets and stuff. That's why I just stood there. You was like, give me time. I just stood there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're going to need time, because you're getting told right now. But, it's one of those things. At first, cause my first mom was like, to kind of push you, like, come on, you got to, get in there and get it. But I was like, you kind of going through something tough right now, because you just getting back in there, and then you just had that shot that just takes you out of the ballpark. So I was just wondering, like, you know what I mean? Like, where did it feel like, oh, I'm slowing them down? Oh,
I feel like that.
Or did you feel like, did it feel like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like when I was just staring at you, was it like some kind of conviction there behind it? Or were you just like, okay, he's just giving me a second?
I think I'm more hard on myself than anybody else can be on me, if I'm being honest. Because that mental process for me while you were standing there, I kept explaining to you like I'm having a hot flash. Like it's something that I'm learning. I always over-explain what's going on because I don't want people to view me as weak or as, not capable, because that ain't the issue. The issue is my body hurting, I'm having hot flashes, I'm going through the motions of all of this stuff.
We in the gym working out, by the way.
Yeah,
mind you, when she had a hot flash, we was in the gym working out. Oh my goodness.
And I'm sitting there like,
I think you're supposed to.
But I kept telling him, I'm like, I'm sweating. And he's like, you're supposed to sweat in the gym. Yeah, but this ain't one of them. This is one of them inside out kind of sweats. But I'm more hard on myself. So I was really trying to give myself grace. And I think at that moment, I'm not going to say I was looking for you to give me grace, but I feel like you wasn't being hard on me. You were just kind of standing there. But at the same time, I was kind of like, man, I do feel like sometimes I'll be slowing you down, which I don't like that feeling, because now that I'm having to start over, I don't know who needs to hear this, but go to the gym. If that's your daily thing, go to the gym. Don't take a day off. Like, I mean, take a day off to rest, right? But don't be like, I would go
7 days a week.
Yeah. Don't go in there 7 days. Take days off, but on your scheduled days, push yourself and go. Because I'm gonna tell you this. Since 2020, I probably started over like 5 times, and every time it tears me down.
Yeah, it's bad. A lot of people, and I've been going, man. Yeah, I told y'all about the story about me and Kendrick almost drowning. So that's when I started getting my health affairs in order. But mainly I started mountain biking. But I couldn't. It was fun, but I couldn't go far, so I had to get in shape. But you know, you gotta push yourself. You know, it's easy to go when you feel good. You wake up. I spoke to the Lord today. You know, I feel motivated to go to the gym and work. You know what I mean? Cause your body's a temple, so you gotta take care of it, right? But a lot of people, they like, I'm tired, I'm sick. Man, I've been in there when I'm sick. You know what I mean? I won't say it's a struggle. You just gotta pace yourself. You may not be able to lift what you did, you know, days. You know what I mean? There's been times I done just swung 315s just easy, just. But then the next day I come back, I'm like, man, I can only do half of what I did. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the progress. For one, y'all, I'm not showing that. I'm not out. You know, I walk. You know what's bad, y'all? Is when people come to the door. That's the first thing they notice is my side. One dude asked me, "Do I sell steroids?" I said, "Man, really?" But you know what I mean? Of course, you know, it's just that just come to the territory, you know, sometimes. But
listen, I am going to say this. When I'm sick, that's the hardest thing for me to do is get up and go to the gym. But I will say this. I remember at a point, what was it, last year or the year before, when I wasn't really feeling good, I wasn't in a good headspace. When I say fighting the mental, emotional processes and things, and I forced myself to go, I felt so good, like, after the fact.
I like that she goes to the gym. I never told her.
That's
I like when she goes to the gym. I like when you go to the gym. I just don't ever say it.
And I like going to the gym with you because I can go for a walk, I can do all these things, but it's just not the same. I think I had this hate relationship. It ain't a love-hate. I'm just gonna put it out there. It was a hate relationship with the gym. I had it for a long time. I don't even know where it came from. I really and truly don't know where it came from. But I was like, I ain't finna lift no weights. You remember I used to tell you that all the time? I don't like weights.
It's the being comfortable.
I don't like weight. I don't like
it. Is because that's in the sense, or let me say this. That's kind of how I perceive it, right? Is you being comfortable. That's what the flesh is. Make yourself comfortable. So you know what I mean. That's why you like. I don't like this machine. It's it's uncomfortable. I'm like, well, you gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable because that's where the growth comes from.
Guess what?
So you know what I mean. That's just one of the things that I just sense is okay. Well, and I guess that's the same thing. You know, you tired. You're like, let me stay in the bed. Guess what? You make yourself comfortable, and you're not gonna want to go.
And God made our life so uncomfortable these past few years, y'all. And when I say uncomfortable, He made it uncomfortable. But again, this is where the growth comes from. This is where this vision came from. This is where Crystal House Cancer came from. This is where the book came from. The music came. It's from being uncomfortable. This is where trading came from. Like being uncomfortable. Like God will do His best work when He break you down and make you uncomfortable. I don't know whose marriage is probably going through something right now and why this is coming to me at this moment, but I don't know who's going through something in your marriage, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're uncomfortable, it's a reason for it. If you and your spouse are uncomfortable, it's a reason for it. And I need you to take that to God. Whether you take that collectively or individually, I need you to take it to God. I need you to pray over it, because it's a reason why he got you uncomfortable right now. Because I'm learning life and elevation and growth is just a whole bunch of people being uncomfortable in some uncomfortable situations.
Man, let me tell y'all, man, when it comes to, I don't go off into details as far as, as far as what I make and what I lose, you know what I mean? It's the journey that I'm actually starting to understand that's really spiritual when it comes to trading. And of course, later on down the line, I'm gonna kind of go over some stuff, you know what I mean, kind of show y'all, things that I prayed and spoke to God and how it feeds into my personal life and all that stuff when it comes to trading. But like, that is the most uncomfortable thing ever, right? But for one, like, it's the most powerful thing. You have to kill it. Like, it's so much flesh that goes into trading that you just have to kill it, right? A lot of people think it's gambling. It's your heart posture. Is it gambling for you, or is it providing for your family with it, right? But that's the most biggest thing for me, because when I lose, we're wired to not want to lose, but you have to lose. You have to be a good loser in trading, right? So the natural male, anatomy, we don't want to just admit defeat, or you know what I mean. But you gotta kill that pride. You gotta kill that flesh. And the one thing that I had to do is just come to God. Lord, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be angry. I just pray for the strength to not take this out on my family, or just ruin my day. You know what I mean? I wouldn't surrender. That's basically what it is. And I think that's one of the things that I really had to pray about in my marriage was, I gotta be able to talk to you about this, right? And not feel conviction. Well, there's nothing wrong with conviction. It's condemnation. That's the part, you know what I mean? Like, okay, now, because if the feedback gets so bad, then either A, you're not gonna want to tell them no more, or it's gonna just unmotivate you to keep going. So, you know what I mean? But just being uncomfortable it's so hard to deal with, but it reaps the most benefits.
And fellas, I want to speak to you directly because
Fast. Don't even get me started on fasting, bro.
Because I feel like whenever you are in a marriage, a lot of times I feel as a wife, you are craving communication from your spouse. Here's the thing. I have been blessed in a way where God has allowed me to help quite a few ladies through their journeys with cancer. And then when I say help, maybe give resources, be a support, whatever it is that I could do for those individuals, he allowed me to be able to do that. But it's another thing whenever you come home and your spouse, they don't even want to talk to you, and you try to hold a conversation, and it's like you get the bare minimum. You get like the cold shoulder. It's like I can talk to everybody else, and I can pour into everybody else, and I can mentor everybody else, and I can be there for everybody else. Why is it so hard within the walls of my own home? And there is a lot of pride that men have, but I will tell this, and I'm just speaking from my own experience. Like, when it comes down to your pride, you have to understand, like, your spouse also feels a sense of, like, okay, we married. Like, that creates other issues in communication and all of the things whenever you hold on to your pride.
It's this thing I was listening to, and it was like, it really blew my mind. I was like, dang, we all kind of weird like that. It was talking about the amount of effort or the amount of obedience that you give your job versus your spouse. And it went down to, like, they tell you to wear an outfit, you go wear an outfit.
That your wife suggests you got pushback.
Yeah, you got pushback. Vice versa. You know what I mean? It's pushback, or you need to be here at this time. You know what I mean? Or then it's like, well, why you not ready yet? You know what I'm saying? It was just some amount of stuff. And I was like, ooh.
And it's a mindset, and you have to want. And here's the thing: whenever you have some pent-up animosity or misunderstandings, and a lot of it is truly misunderstandings because there's a lack of communication. When you know how when somebody texts you something and you take it the wrong way and it just blows all out of proportion because, okay, well, that ain't what I was saying. I was simply saying this, but they perceived it another way. That's how it is in a lot of marriages. Like, people are lacking communication because they're taking things the wrong way.
Let me ask you something. And y'all can answer this too for you. You can ask your spouse this. What is your most favorite way to pour into me? What is your most effective way to pour into me?
Just talking. I mean, what do you mean?
What's your most favorite way?
Talking. And or you mean like affirmations? Acts of service? Is that what you're asking? I'm trying to understand the question.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, I guess in general, is it complimenting me? Is it motivating me? Like, what
I mean,
like, what is your thing? You know what I mean? Like, if you see me down, or you see, you know what I mean, or you see me, I need to be a little more motivated or something. Like, what is your thing?
I mean, I like to motivate you and compliment the things that I've learned. Those things kind of go hand in hand. For me, it's really having those open communications. And I say that because whatever comes through those communications is me pouring into you. Because this is just as an example, like with his paper trading. Whenever you were paper trading, and you was like, I'm not getting this. I don't understand why this ain't, this and that. He would get frustrated, and I would ask. It's kind of like I would tiptoe and see, like, are you ready to talk, or you don't want to talk? And I would ask, and I would kind of get the shoulder. So it's like, okay, well, I just gotta let him be for a minute because apparently he's upset. He needs time. And I would ask again. It would bother me whenever this would happen because it's like, well, I want to say something to you, but you're not giving me the go-ahead to say something to you because you're already frustrated. And if I say something and, you take it the wrong way or whatever the case is, then that ain't going to end very well for nobody. So I want to make sure that you're ready to receive what it is that I have to say to you. So at that point in time, I wait until you're ready. But when you're ready, I remind you of the things that I've noticed. Like, for example, I remember a time where he was really down about the trading journey because it was like nothing is, it just keeps going red. This is happening, that's happening. And I was like, the last time he was having an issue with it, I had to remind him. I was like, do you remember a year ago when you were doing this and it was like majority red, green every now and then? I said, now you're getting majority green, but you're just learning other things. Like, I was able to pour into you and not only pour into you what I've noticed, but to remind you of how far you had already came because I felt like you didn't recognize that for yourself. So that's my favorite way. What is yours?
My favorite way is to annoy you.
Oh my goodness.
I like to get her energized by saying some smart stuff.
Y'all have no idea how deep. Y'all have no idea how deep that runs.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's a hobby of mine is to purposefully annoy her. Like when she wakes up,
And he just says some of the most off the wall stuff sometimes.
I like to kiss her too rough. Just to get on her nerves. Get your beard out my face. You know what I mean?
Yo, let me tell y'all.
I like to annoy her.
How much that hurt?
But on the realness though.
I think that is
a lot of
your
things. Well, it is my favorite. But I'm just saying, like, as far as pouring into you, I think it's one of those things where I'm not a talker. I'm more of a doer. You know what I mean? Like when you wanted to order your books, I was like, no, order the books. You know what I'm saying? Or we can, get this and get that. I think my thing was pouring into you was just doing little stuff to try to kind of keep your boat rolling. That's mainly my opinion. like the lights. You know what I mean? Just little stuff to kind of help, kind of push you just a little bit more. You know what I mean? Doing the, like it's just little stuff. It's just little stuff. That's just me. It's just little stuff. The laptop debacle, and it's just those are just the little things that because you gotta pour into your spouse, man. You gotta pour into them. Sometimes you may not agree with what they got going on. You're like, man, why is he giving this so much attention? You know what I mean? Like trying to catch a rat or something. You're like, man, just hold a flashlight. He working on the car, just hold a flashlight.
You know, and here's the thing. And again, because we started off with, the couples, the young, getting married young and learning. I think we've gone through so much within our marriage from, the sickness. We've dealt with we're currently dealing with the residual effects of that, which is the financials. We've dabbled into some of the other things that we had to learn. Some the hard way, some we still trying to process and get through. We've dealt with a lot of things that a lot of people our age probably has not even had to deal with, if I'm being honest. But ultimately, I think that God wastes nothing. So whenever you're considering your spouse or your partner, you have to make sure that at the end of the day, you are walking in alignment. You are finding somebody who is walking in alignment with God, or who is willing to and prepared and ready to walk in alignment with God. Because if you do not, we did it our way in the beginning, and our way did not work. It didn't work. Ain't no other way around it. Like, it just crashed and burned. It just did not work. And God is teaching us anew. And with that, I'm encouraging everybody just to continue to take yours one day at a time. Oh yeah, you hear the boys in the background. You probably hear the boy. That's the youngest.
And let me, I guess, let me chime in and agree to what she's saying. This is my thing for the show. The number one thing that we didn't do at the time was water our grass. Right? We didn't pour into each other as much as we should have. Not saying we didn't. We did, of course, because we got this far. So clearly we did do something right. But we also didn't water our spiritual grass when it came to our spouse. It's kind of like the story that she told us about. And I finally got to read it for myself, Nabal and Abigail. And I kind of understood the idea of, supporting your spouse on the back end. And, sometimes they don't see it, God sees it ultimately. So it's just one of the things you got to do is surrender your work to God, surrender your faith to God, and just pray that He supports y'all, So in this story, obviously some people have heard about it, some people didn't. Crystal told me about it, and then I finally got around to reading it because she told me, right? But she saved him from David's wrath by, offering stuff to David and his soldiers, and they spared him, right? Now, needless to say, God still did what He had to do, which is in the Baal's life, but he didn't even know about it until the day after because he was drunk. So she had to talk to him about it and kind of tell him, and at that point, he kind of understood the importance of what she did. She spared him. So I think, and when it comes to marriage, is it's just having a bond, right? A spiritual bond with God first, and then let that that love and that surrender trickle into your marriage, right? Because patience is probably the most hardest thing, right? Right. Patience is the most hardest thing that you can ever ask God for, because that's where He gonna really test you, for patience.
Don't ask for that.
Right. So, because you're gonna get tested on that, but you gotta cross that bridge, right?
Don't ask for patience.
Yeah.
Don't pray for patience. I'm not gonna tell y'all what not to pray for.
Yeah, he gonna
but just be prepared for the test
in
all of even with surrender. You ask God, and this is the thing that I learned about God. The thing that you ask for, He's gonna give it to you, and He's not gonna give it to you the way that you want it. And then I had to go back to when Pastor Chris was preaching about don't you dare ask God to bless you and then tell Him how to do it. When I say I was convicted in my spirit when my pastor said that one Sunday, I was like, oh,
yeah,
you in my business now, so because.
So this is what we're marriage God's way could look like. I'm gonna say that should, could, whatever you want to take from that, right? So be loving, go to God first. He can show you how to love your spouse. He can show you how to pour into him. You just gotta listen to the signs. You gotta follow the signs. He go give them. You just gotta listen to him. You gotta see him. You gotta be mama. Keep your eyes open. Okay. You wanna pray us out?
Sure.
You wanna pray us out, baby? Take your time.
I just want y'all to take a moment and just soak in whatever positivity that you can from this podcast series. I want you to reflect over all of the things that are beneficial to you. Whatever is not beneficial to you, I want you to just wipe it out. Just don't even think about the things that we said here that are not beneficial to you or your growth, your healing, and your process. I want you to just focus on all of the things that you heard and that are positive, that you can implement in your life and your marriage. And we're going to reflect over those things as we pray. Father God, I just want to thank you for another opportunity to come and just share our thoughts, our feelings, our opinions over marriage, Father. I thank you for every person who is watching, every couple, every single person. Father God, I pray that we said something here that allows them to see you working within our lives, within our marriage, within how we parent, Father God. I just thank you for being the God of another chance, the God of forgiveness, one who does not leave us or forsake us, Father. Lord, if there is anything that anyone is going through who is watching this live, I pray that you just intervene in those things, in those corners of their mind and their heart and their spirit. And I pray that you heal them in your way, if it is in your will and your way, Father God. Lord, I just thank you for this opportunity. In Jesus' name, amen.
Everybody, good night. Our next episode is going to be, I don't know. But,
sooner than later.
We'll come up with some, whatever topic that may be. And we shall speak to y'all again. Later.